everybody, Gina DeLuca here. Okay, so today I have some brand new This Little Piggy's pigments to show y'all. So very excited about that. I will start with what is going to be my background color. This is the Amsterdam Standard Series Acrylics, an Ultramarine Violet. And for the pigments, we have This Little Piggy in Rosé, and we'll show you on the stick what that looks like. Very pretty, peachy pink. And we have Belini. And this is even peachier. Really beautiful color. I love pigments. Oh my goodness. I'm on a mission to find all the many different ways that I can use them. This one is called Dejavu, and man, when you open up this pigment, I doubt the camera's going to be able to like really let you see it. But it's, yeah, I don't think you can really tell on the camera, but in person, it's just, oh my goodness gracious, is that a color? But this is what it looks like when it's mixed up. This is not a shimmery pigment. Pardon me. This is not a shimmery pigment. This is an oxide-based pigment, and so it is a bit trickier to mix. You're probably better off mixing it the day before and allowing those pigments to get nice and saturated because it's oxide-based and not mica-based. The mica-based pigments, I'm just using mix. So what I'm doing is putting a little bit of mix in the bottom of my cup and adding the pigment to that, mixing it together, and then adding more of the mix. The mica pigments mix really easily. The oxide pigments take a little time to get saturated and fully incorporate. And then the last piggy color I have here is Violet Rain. And it is a really pretty, very deep purple. I'm going to try to get that flash in there for you. I don't know if I'm catching it. But you'll see it on the close-ups. So those are the colors that I'm going to be using today. I'm going to be doing one of the double blossom flowers. So I kind of have a couple of different flower approaches. One where I have leaves and then the flower in the center, and then one where it's just kind of like this double blossom. So double blossom today. Before we get started, have you seen the Fluid Art Inspiration cards? If you have, you can fast forward about a minute, but if you have not, what we have are 52 cards. There are 42 technique cards. Each technique card has an associated video here on YouTube that gives you all of the information that you need, the exact recipe, paint colors, and such. This is the picture from that particular video. This box contains a tip for that particular technique, and here at the bottom we have the color palette used in that particular painting. These two boxes can be used together as the basis of a two-color palette, or you can build off of those colors. And there are 8 bonus color palette cards. Each one has 5 color palettes. Use all of the colors or just use some of the colors. Mix and match the technique cards with the color palette cards, and you have more combinations than you could ever paint a lifetime. Also, you can use these color palettes for any kind of art form, crochet, beadwork, what have you. These are available at my website, ginadeluca.net, and also available at amazon.com. And if you get them off of Amazon, please do leave feedback. They are sticklers over there for the algorithm, and feedback is a huge part of that. So the Amsterdam paint has been mixed 1 part paint to 2 parts mix, and then I've added water to make it the consistency of mix by itself, because that is the consistency of the pigments, the way they've been mixed. They're just added to the mix, and so it's the consistency of mix. And so I've just made sure that my consistency for my base coat is the same. So it's about a 2 on my consistency scale, if you can even see that. I've got to get a better overhead light. But it's about a 2 on my consistency scale. It makes a mound, but it disappears quickly. I'm going to be blowing these paints around, so I need to make sure that it's not too thick. If it's too thick, it won't move around. You will notice that I have already covered my edges. Let's get rid of these guys. I have already covered my edges. These round canvases have puckers on the side, and it can really be a challenge to get the full coverage on the sides if you don't take that little extra step to cover the edges first. And then when it comes to doing the sides, you want to make sure that they are indeed primed with your wet paint so that the paints can slide easily over the sides. If it hits a dry spot, it will remain dry, or more likely to remain dry, and you won't have your composition flowing evenly over the side. And because of the puckers, your finger is the best way to get it on there. All right, I'm gonna pop these bubbles just so they don't come through my pour. All right, let's get this party started. I'm going to start with a puddle of my purple. Airbrush is set to 35 psi. And I'm going to go that way. Okay. So starting with this beautiful peachy orange color. I'm going to turn these jars upside down so I can remember the names here. Belini going in first. Okay, and then the rosé. Dejavu next. Man, is that vibrant. Hoo-wee. That is the sexiest magenta color I have ever laid my eyes on. Maybe fuchsia. Probably more of a fuchsia. And then Violet Rain. So sometimes the pigments have a strange look when they are wet, where it looks like, you know, these colors aren't going to go together. But when they dry, you know, the pouring medium dries clear, and then you're just left with those pigments, and they look amazing. Okay, one more round, because I need this to go all the way out to the edge. And then I will do another flower on the inside. So these pigments really do go a long way. I'm using very, very little of each of these pigments in the cup. Like, geez, probably not even half a teaspoon. No, definitely not half a teaspoon. Less than half a teaspoon. And I'll get several paintings out of it doing it this technique. If you're doing flip cups, straight pours, and you're using all pigment, yes, you're going to use a lot of pigment. But if you're using it in a way where it really stretches, you can definitely get your money's worth. I think I saw someone say that they were able to mix up an entire gallon of paint with one of these jars of pigment. So if that tells you anything, you can do the math on that. Okay, and just because it is so vibrant and amazing, another little dose of Dejavu and Rosé. Okay, now I'm going to get my cups out of the way. I'm going to pour, actually let me do a dollop in the center there. And I'm going to do a little circle around this, but I want to make sure that I leave a little bit for my next part of the puddle. Shouldn't need a lot, but gonna need some. Okay, and now I'm going to blow it into the center. This will get them nice and blendy. Okay. Now I'm going to blow it out. Try to get it close to the edges. Just going to keep working it outwards. Give this a spin. Okay. Let's see if I can coax this out a little further. Okay, so far so good, and let's go for round 2. Okay, start with a dollop of purple of my background or base coat color, what have you. I have to keep spinning this canvas because my work surface isn't level and I don't want it running off in an uneven fashion. And just repeating these layers. Maybe I'll make it a triple blossom. We'll see. Okay. And a bit of the background purple. Okay, no blowing in on this one, just out. And so I'm going to come down from the top and let that spread out just a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to come in between these petals. So if I'm looking at these as individual petals, coming in between. Dear, oh dear. Woo. Okay, cat-like reflexes. Actually, I'm going to start okay, got cells popping up here. It must be that groovy Amsterdam paint. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my skewer and just kind of wiggle a little line in there. I want to drag some of this color in with it so it looks like the petals. But I'm not coming all the way into the center. Okay, so now for the center. What are we doing for the center? I think a little extra bloom. So it'd be a triple bloom. I think that's what's going to happen. Okay. Dot of purple. And I think I'm going to do it in a backwards order of what I've been doing. But one more of this pink. And if I need, okay, let me just do this part. So I just make sure that my petals are doing what they're supposed to do, where they're supposed to do it. Okay, so that doesn't need to be perfect because we're blowing this out. I have a little piece of aquarium tubing. I'm just going to blow this out. Okay, but let's get a little wonky. I'm just going to take some of this Belini and just do 3 tiny dots. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm going to leave this alone. I'll bring you in for a close-up. Back in a few. Okay, so here it is wet. You can see I did change something in the center there. I added a touch of the Violet Rain in the center and then pulled them in, you know, like I was just adding the lines between the petals, and then just added some dots of the Belini. It just needed a little something in there. But this is what it looks like wet. These paintings look so much better when they are dry, but I mean, when you look at that blending, oh my goodness, it's so pretty. Can't be mad at that. And that color that like looks almost greenish, that's going to be that deep purple. So it will have more contrast when it dries. And here comes the dried piece. Okay, here it is. This is the dried piece. You can see all its shimmery glory. These colors are delicious. So if you see up close, there are some raised spots. That is a user error. So the pink color, that Dejavu, is actually an oxide. And I was told after the fact that when you mix the oxide pigments, it's good to let them sit overnight so that it has a chance to fully incorporate. I used them right away, so that was my fault. But these colors together are amazing, really, really pretty. So there it is. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed. Please do like, share, and subscribe. If you are subscribed, make sure you have clicked that bell so you get notifications every time I put up a new video. Check out the description box below for links to my PayPal tip jar if you feel so inclined, my website GinaDeLuca.net, where you can find my art and music and fluid art inspiration cards for sale, and of course the cards are also on Amazon. You'll also find in the description box the links to all my affiliates. You can get coupon codes there, but if you use those links, I will receive a small commission at no additional cost to you. And also in the description box, you will find the link to our Facebook group, Go Make Some Art. Join us there, post your masterpieces, ask your questions, get some inspiration. A good time is had by most. Trying to get that in there. Yeah. There you go. You can see kind of some of the little lumps there. Again, my bad, user error. Let them sit overnight. Okay. I think that's it for me for today. I hope y'all have a beautiful day. Now go make some art.